We've moved from a period of low interest rates or no interest rates to high interest rates. And what that definitionally means is that the value of a dollar today relative to a dollar 10 years from now is much more, right? A couple of years ago, if there's 0% interest rates, a dollar in 10 years is worth the same, which means that you don't have to worry about profitability. All you have to say is one day we will be profitable and those profits are worth the same as your lack of profits today. But that's not the world that we live in. The world that we live in right now is focused on building sustainable long-term businesses because the cost of money is now no longer free.
Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets, where each week Joe chats with world-class entrepreneurs to find out the key principles, strategies, and processes that lie behind their outstanding achievements. Now, your host, the no-bullshit serial entrepreneur, Joe Troyer.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Troyer and welcome to another episode of Show Me the Nuggets. Today we have on Sam Jacobs, who has bootstrapped a business to over $10 million in ARR. Sam is the founder and CEO of Pavilion, which is really a community-powered learning platform. And I'm really excited to dig in with Sam and learn more about Pavilion, as well as what he's been able to do to really bootstrap this business to over 10 million in ARR. And now getting into what I know a lot of you guys are interested in is potentially one day, taking in some seed money or a round from venture capital. So we're going to get into that as well. So without further ado, Sam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have you. So real quick, I guess high level, can you share with us what is Pavilion and who do you guys serve?
Yeah, we serve. So Pavilion, you mentioned, we call it a community-powered learning platform, but what we really are is the largest global community for B2B revenue leaders in the world. So
Gotcha.
We are fundamentally a community of about 10,000 folks. We focus on B2B software as a service, recurring revenue, leaders in the revenue function and the go-to-market function. So our members are heads of sales, heads of marketing, heads of customer success, and CEOs that run these companies. And they pay us a membership fee to be a member. And then what we try to do is build products and services for them that help them get where they want to go in their career. And so some part of that is training and learning. Some part of that is peer groups, just being around and meeting regularly with other people doing the same job. And some part of it is in-person events, summits and conferences that we host so that people can sharpen their, iron sharpens iron so that they can get better at their skills and knowledge and also build their networks and relationships.
That's really awesome. So how do you guys make money? Is there an expansion model in there? Is it flat rate, right, for the company to come in and, kind of what you see is what you get? Or help me understand, kind of how you guys, how your revenue model works.
Yeah, sure. It's pretty straightforward. We charge individual humans a monthly or annual membership to join the executive community. And then there's an expansion model where if you want to bring on members of your team, you can upgrade to a corporate membership, and then you can add up to as many people as you want. And what you do when you add them is they get access to some of the resources you're consuming. So if you take CRO school, Chief Revenue Officer school through Pavilion University, you can provision the recordings on behalf of your team and they can watch them and learn with you as you grow and develop. So it's for leaders that also want to bring on the up and coming executives and rising stars from their teams and give them the same kind of professional development that we're giving them.
Perfect. And when you look at your member base, who are they? What size businesses are they? What type of SaaSes are they? Is it for everybody, or are you guys really, honed in on one kind of demographic?
We're pretty focused on venture capital backed B2B software as a service companies from post revenue, meaning, very, very small seed stage to series C or D. So kind of 0 to 100 million in revenue. And if we had to be even more specific, up to 50 million in revenue. So early stage companies where the leaders are new to their roles, where there isn't a playbook that they can readily access, where their boss, meaning the founder or CEO, doesn't know how to do their job either, and where they need community and support so that they can make sure they don't get fired, so they can help their companies grow, and so they can navigate their careers more effectively. So that's kind of the ideal customer profile. The ICP, as we say, is heads of sales, heads of marketing, heads of customer success, and founders and CEOs of companies from C to C, Series C, backed by venture capital.
Cool, man. Awesome. Really interesting. Excited to dive in there. I guess before we do, let's take a quick step back, though, and talk to me a little bit about your background, right? What were you up to before Pavilion? How'd you get involved in this B2B SaaS sales-based landscape?
Well, I was I was a customer before I was a founder. So my background is I've been building and running sales organizations and revenue organizations here in New York City for the last 20 years. And a couple things happened, particularly from 2010 to 2018. And that was that my stints, as I became more senior, my tenure kept getting shorter and shorter while the job itself became more and more complicated. And so I started Pavilion as a way of bringing together my friends so that we could network with each other, so we could find new jobs because we were all getting fired all the time, so that we could get the skills and information and knowledge we needed to be good at our jobs, and so that we could just have a support group. So we started coming together in 2014. We didn't even give it a name. And then I started working on it full time in 2018. And things have gone, have taken off since then. We did bootstrap the business to about 10 million before taking on a round of funding a year and a half ago from Elephant Ventures. And that was a $25 million equity investment. And then since then, we've just been trying to grow and serve our members and serve our customers, particularly now, because, we're in the middle or heading into a recession. Salesforce just laid off 10% of their workforce. There's a lot of leaders out there that need help and support. And, we exist to provide that for them.
That's awesome, man. How'd you validate the idea? Right? Like firsthand, like you were your own best customer almost, so to speak, right? But how'd you make sure, in that period when you guys were first getting started and formalizing things, what did that process look like?
Well, it was, I had the benefit of not needing it to be a company because I had other jobs. I had a day job. So this was a side hustle for a long time. And that meant that I didn't need it to be anything on any timeline. So the first thing that happened was I just started emailing people saying, let's get together for dinner. We had an email distribution where everybody's in the two line. And then in 2016, I put it all into a Google group so that you couldn't see who the other people were in the two line. I could send one email. Then we started sharing emails back and forth and sharing information. 2017, I said, hey, everybody, I think I'd like to charge for this. Are you willing to pay? Everybody said yes, except for two people that later joined. January 1, 2018, started charging $50 a month, $600 a year. And we're sort of off to and again, it wasn't very much money because it was a side hustle. All of 2018, it was just side revenue. And then I really started focusing on it 4 years ago, in December of 2018. So 4+ years ago. So I validated, the main thing that helped me validate the idea was just taking a long time. I've been working on this for 8 years, and it's not the kind of thing where like I needed it to be anything by any certain time. And that made it really, really organic. And, the key critical moment was when it was this free dinner club, basically. And I said, would you all pay? And most people said yes. And then from there, we kind of, we tested pricing, we started building products and services and went from there.
That's awesome. So you really built the community first, right? Figured out what they needed, what they wanted, how to help them, right? And it just kept evolving over time. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
You talked a lot, not a lot, but you've mentioned a couple of times already, the team, right, at Pavilion. Can you tell me a little bit about the team when you guys got started and maybe what the team looks like today?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the team is about 60 people today. It was just me and one other person who's now our head of people, Angie Seam, when we first got going. And she was our head of operations. And it was just the two of us. And again, we were self-funded. So I was hiring people as long as it could be profitable and make sense and we could pay for it from a cash flow perspective. And then, once we raised money, we started adding more people. And now we're about 60, 65 folks. And we've got all of the traditional kind of go-to-market functions that a traditional kind of SaaS/recurring revenue business would have. We've got a sales team, we've got a marketing team, we've got a finance team, all of those things. But, it looks like a regular company.
Gotcha. Makes perfect sense. And what were like the one or two major levers that you guys pulled for marketing to get you guys from zero or just off the ground, right, to that 10 million a year revenue point?
There's all of it was word of mouth. We didn't really do a lot of aggressive marketing. And as a consequence of that, the big insight was that I had everybody put the fact that they were members of Pavilion on their LinkedIn profile. And that was basically word of mouth and kind of FOMO marketing. And so all of these other people would say, what is that? I want to join that. And all of these people would become interested. And pretty soon, everybody was putting it on their LinkedIn profile because it was a badge of credentialization. It was a badge of honor. And that was really like one of the big growth drivers.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Are the dinners and the events and the conferences, is that still a critical part of the strategy today?
Yeah, very much so. The three big pillars like the products, right, that we sell. We sell three products. We sell learning through Pavilion University, which is online training and learning that we've developed. We sell in-person events, and we sell community as a product, basically a group of people. We call them core groups. They're 100 to 125 people. They meet once a month. They become friends. They develop deeper relationships. And those are like the three core ideas that you sign up for when you become a member of Pavilion.
That's awesome. Yeah, I could see how that would work and how you could really get to understand your customer and how long-term, those groups could be really, really valuable for you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, again, the world is changing so rapidly and it's so volatile. And we as an organization, we only exist on behalf of our members. That's why it's nice that we're not free, right? Our members pay us money. We deliver products and services to them. And some people don't like paying for community. They want it for free. But the benefit of when you pay for it is that you become the customer and we work for you.
Yep, 100%. I mean, it also, makes that there's a floor, at least of some type of person that's in the community. They're willing to pay, they're willing to invest. That stops a lot of people from getting in the program that probably wouldn't add any value in the first place or wouldn't take it very seriously. So I like that it's paid personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better that way too. It's sort of intentional by design.
Are you guys' events once a month? Are those in person, or are you guys doing all virtual? How did COVID affect events?
Yeah, we went from only doing in-person events to being a dinner club all the way to doing 60 to 70 virtual webinars a week. Now we're back to in-person. So we're doing about 100 salon-style dinners over the course of 2023. We're doing 4 big summits and conferences, including a CEO summit in Miami a week from today, actually, which is where I'll be next week. So yeah, it's a mixture of in-person now that COVID has receded. COVID is obviously still a big part of all of our lives, but we as an organization have decided that we are post-COVID. So that's sort of our approach to it.
I like that. I like how you put that.
Yeah, it's not going to determine everything that we do. It might determine everything other people do, but not for us.
Yeah, I'm really curious to get your take, talking post-COVID and today's economic climate. How are you guys advising your CEOs, your go-to-market teams, your marketing teams? What are you advising them to do? How are you advising them to think? What's kind of top of mind for you guys right now as you really coach these SaaS people?
The top of mind is profitability. No big surprise, right? And there's a bunch of different reasons for that. One of them specifically is that we've moved from a period of low interest rates or no interest rates to high interest rates. And what that definitionally means is that the value of $1 today relative to $1 10 years from now is much more, right? A couple of years ago, if there's 0% interest rates, $1 in 10 years is worth the same, which means that you don't have to worry about profitability. All you have to say is one day we will be profitable and those profits are worth the same as your lack of profits today. But that's not the world that we live in. The world that we live in right now is focused on building sustainable long-term businesses because the cost of money is now no longer free. And so we are advising our members, and I'm advising myself to focus on efficiency, to focus on profitability, and to focus on the basically making sure that that your sales team and your marketing efforts really do pay for themselves, because there's a lot of companies out there that have been focused on growth at any cost. And what that means is they sold a product before they had a sufficient size of renewal data, meaning they sold the product. Everybody can sell anything. It's whether the customer keeps buying it. And before they had that renewal data in hand, they said, we're going to scale up a big sales team. And those companies are going to be in trouble on the marginal basis because maybe those deals don't renew the way that they thought they would. And now the sales team isn't quite paying for itself in the way that they thought it might. So we're focused on helping people be profitable and efficient in this environment. If things change radically, I don't think they're going to, but if they change radically, then, our advice will shift accordingly.
Love it. Yeah. I hate the growth at any cost mindset. Unfortunately, I see it way too often dealing with companies, helping lots of coaches, consultants, marketers, where they're advised to grow at any cost, right, on behalf of their client until they're not, right, and they don't have the money to back it up, and they haven't figured out their numbers, and they assume that they know what the customer acquisition cost could be. They pick a number out of the sky, and then oh no, customers aren't actually sticking around, and the business is either closed or going for another round of funding just to keep marketing running. It's really refreshing to hear that.
Good. Well, it's easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for tuning in to Show Me the Nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.